So now you see we've created the top of the nostril, and we brought the 3-strand braids down, and they're turned the corner to the edge of the nostril. And in here we went back and forth until it was time to start this. So when we reached the point where we were including the braids, we went 1, 2 steps. So I went 1 and came across 1, then I went beyond 1, and then I went beyond 1, and then I left those weavers there. Then I came here, and I knew where the high point of my white nostril area would be too wide. Here I counted where that would be, and then I went back and forth, going in 1 warp each turn until I just had two warps here at the very center of the nose. Then here I went 1, 2, but when I came back here, I needed to turn at the edge of those center 2. Then I turned and turned. So what we're going to have is the side of the nostril is going to be 2 warps wide. And these inner white areas of the nostril are going to be a good size, but they also are going to come in more into an oval. So they're not going to be a complete round. So that size won't be that large, that won't appear that large. So you see we're coming together, almost getting a nostril, and I'll be doing it what I did on this side, I'll be doing on this side, bringing down the blue as I go along, creating that edge here, just like this edge. Blue is going to interlock right here. So there was 1 turn here, and now you see it's time to interlock the blue with the black. But first of all, of course, you're going to do your switch actions with your braids. Okay, so I brought those braids around the outside of the nostril, and now you see that these have steps. So these are going to get worked. I'm going to enter a 3-strand black, very tiny yarn, and then I'm entering a 3-strand white. Okay, so the side of the nostril is too wide. I know that. So let me make sure that I've got the 2. So here is the join, and then there's 1, 2. So I know that this is where I'm going to put the first yarn of the 3-strand. You see that? It's nestled right up into a step. These are the 2, and then this is nestled right up into that step, the first step. And I separate these very distinctly. So the next yarn is into and around the very next warp. And I separate them very distinctly. And then the third yarn is over 1. It actually goes into that top 2. So separate them very distinctly. And now you've got 3 going towards the right. And we're going to do the 3-strand action. And it's very fine yarn, but it's still smoothing those step joints. Okay, and so this is the last action of that 3-strand. That's where it's going to end, right up on a step, not into the 2 of the middle septon. So it's going to step right there. And I'm going to follow that right where, exactly where these black braids were placed. That's where I'm going to put fine white and do the same thing. Then I'll come over here and do that. First in that first step, snug in up into that first step and very distinctly separate them. That's a very important thing. A lot of beginners don't think so, and so they don't separate them, and then there's a whole mess and confusing yarns. So you don't want to confuse yourself. You want to do the techniques that are going to help you not be confused by your yarn, because it can be confusing, a lot of 3-strand braids. So the third one over, and then very distinctly separate them. And then now you have the 3 going to the right. And we're going to braid them. The action goes through its partners, down where that first one comes up, and behind one and up. And it stops just where the black one stopped. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in this as much as we can. So we know that the top was 2 warps wide. So we want to take a white weaver and wrap around those two center warps. Okay, so then a Naaxiin turn right off the bat, and then split those 2. And then when you grab here, you're going to go 1 beyond, just like you retreated 1 beyond. So you're going to expand 1 beyond. Now you've turned the corner, now you're going to go 1 beyond here. 1 beyond. And then a Naaxiin turn. Okay, now, and you notice we don't have to do anything with those braids because we're working within the area that the braids were done. So now this will be my last turn on this side. So then I do a Naaxiin turn. And I'm going to go over to where the 3 strands, that's right before the septum of the nose there, and then I'm going to turn. Now the next time I come here, I'm going to be grabbing braids, but right now I just turn. Okay, but right here, I'm heading now to this place, and we're ready to do a join there. So I'm going to take these weavers, and do the braids. So I have one fine white braid here, the white weaver, the black braid in its action there, and then I do a Naaxiin turn. And that it is confusing because the sides of the nose are only 2 warps wide, right? So I'm gonna slip knot those 2 together. And then I will pick up the weaver and go over to this side. Now, I think I did a double here just to keep them in place, so I'm just going to release that double. And now I attend to these braids. Okay, so I'll do the black, braid action, and the white, braid action. And now I'm going to take those weavers from the septum, and remember they're only 2 wide, so there they are. And I'm going to take the black on the black side. And then I'm going to do a half twist for the join. Now I'm going to take the white and include it in when I scoop up the last white warps. Then I do a Naaxiin turn, break the pair above, and there I go. I can't go any further really because we're starting to work in the inner here until I get this other side done. So I'll hop over to this side and weave that, doing exactly what I did here.